Oh, good.
Uh, so Lindsay and I have been sitting here for a while talking about her book, and I don't know how much has gotten recorded and how much hasn't. So we might have completely missed the first little bit of the interview. And just in case, I'm going to reintroduce Lindsay and re-ask that one question. I'm sorry. I heard it, but whatever else comes out.
I love it. I love it.
So I'm sitting here with my friend Lindsay, and I am so honored to be here with her, and I'm so proud of her. I am also so inspired by her because she wrote a book about her connection with swimming with dolphins, and just I'm just gonna say the name of the book because it's not really for me to define. I'll just say the name of the book. It's Diary of the Dolphin Dreamer, A Journey into the Realm of Higher Dimensional Living.
Mm.
And Lindsay has been making a connection with the dolphins for a while. And I asked her a little bit about her process writing this book. And I'm so sorry. We not sure what got recorded and what didn't. So I'm going to re-ask my question. And it was just a little bit about what called you to write the book and what came out in that process.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like all throughout my life, that little voice inside, whether it's our higher self, or guidance from spirit, I don't know, but I have always heard that I'm supposed to write a book. But, when I was younger, I was like, well, why am I important enough to write a book to share with the world? Why is my story important? And so it's always been there, this idea that I need to create through words and share with the world. But it wasn't until I actually spent time in the presence of my dolphin family, our dolphin family. There are brothers and sisters in the sea. And yeah, they showed me in in an incredible reflection of my own soul in their eyes, and it amplified the importance of why I need to share my story. And mostly because I feel like it's real. The trauma that I experienced, that everyone experiences throughout their life, and to always come back to that place of remembrance and to stay like in our hearts throughout our life, to learn from each experience. And I don't know, I knew that I carry this frequency. We all carry this frequency, but the more we lead with our hearts, which I've done for many years, um, I feel like that frequency was then transferred into the energy of my book and the words that I share. And I feel like even if you just hold it in your hands or sleep with it under your pillow, like that energy is going to be felt by others. And I hope that it's like a healing frequency that then inspires other people to heal, because I really think, like, I used to get these visions after toroidal field from where the spark happens, right? And where life begins, like that energy starts in that heart space in the womb. And that field goes out beyond us, right? So as we heal ourselves, we're not just healing ourselves, we're healing the collective, we're healing everyone around us. And so it feels like there was a higher purpose to getting my book out there. Whether some people relate to my story, whether they think it's too woo-woo or I'm crazy, what have you. But it's like it's important because of the frequency it holds, and it's the frequency of love and the frequency of the heart.
Mm.
So
I am so excited to get the book even more now because even as you're talking, I feel that burning in my heart. It's contagious when you can see that someone is so, it's like you're lighting torch for other people to follow their hearts. And it's exciting being around that type of you were talking about energy. It's like a tuning fork you put out into the world. I'm like
Exactly.
vibrating just from talking to you
Aw.
right now. And so I'm even that much more excited to read the book.
Mm.
And you're a couple steps ahead of me because my next question was about what you energetically felt um, swimming with the dolphins. So
Mm.
if we can just dive into, and I see one of your daughters walking behind you, and I know she swims with you. She's welcome to come and talk about it too.
Aw.
But what was it like to swim with the dolphins? I know that that's like a loaded question because it's what your whole book is about. Is like, sorry, it's kind of a bit of an abstract one there, but what is it like to swim with dolphins? Because many people listening have never swam with dolphins before, and not just physically, but of course, energetically, which is what your whole book is about and what you're talking
Yeah.
to me about today.
Yeah, I mean, my journey began through the dream realm when I was younger, and it was always the orcas that came to me, which in my book I talk about how I think that's and feel that it's one of the threads of my ancestors that communicate and show me the way and have guided me over the years. And yeah, so having that connection already, which all of us can, like you can call in the dolphin energy, you can ask for guidance. I mean, each of us have our own Amakua or spirit guide, you know, the animals that we're connected to through Mother Nature. And yeah, for me and for a lot of people, it's the dolphins. You know, there are origin stories that go back hundreds of years that are all about the dolphins being like our brothers and sisters that live in the ocean. And I believe we came from the ocean. It is like the womb of the earth. Like, that's our origins. So going back to that place where we were created, where there's like this spark of remembrance. Yeah, so being with the dolphins for the first time, it was like I slept for days after, because it zaps you. I mean, partially their sonar and what it does to you, but also just like seeing yourself, like really seeing your soul for the first time and having it reflected back at you is just like it's an awakening. I don't know. Like I try and put it in words in my book, but it's so individual, right? Like it's going to look different for each and every person, but I just felt like I was home, like one with them.
That's
Yeah.
really, that's amazing. That feeling of being home is like no other. We're talking about remembrance, and
Mhm.
when you say the word home, there's just something just so warm and um, just there's no better feeling than that word home. So that kind of every question I'm about to ask is like we're already answering the next question, but
Of course, there's that.
no, that's good. That there's a lot of like synchronicity and flow with this. I was going to ask about like how you receive the messages, and you talked about just being exhausted after, and I
Mm-hmm.
can relate to that because when I do readings intuitively, I feel exhausted, and
Mm-hmm.
I have to remind myself I'm not being lazy. This is, you do a lot of
Yeah.
work when you rest. So, can you speak a little bit more about how you
Mhm.
hear the messages and how you just a little bit about all of that? I'm just really so curious about it because it's to me such a fascinating topic, and I just want to hear a little bit more if you're willing to try to put in words. I know it's probably hard, but I'm just fascinated to hear a little bit more about how you internalize the messages around you when you're
Sure.
in the water
Yeah.
with the dolphins.
Yeah. So some things come when you're in the water with them. Some, like I hear a voice or I see a shape, like sacred geometry. They communicate a lot in sacred geometry. So do the whales. So just like being open in your heart space, you can receive those things. But I think in the beginning, yeah, it was mostly like think part of the reason I was so tired was because I needed to sleep to receive the messages clearer. And so that's how it started. But then I do have moments in waking reality, whatever that is, where I receive these visions and it's a full sensational experience. So the dolphins did guide me to these remedies, which I talk about in my book, and they're homeopathic remedies from milk. They're called lac remedies. And my journey with that, which I feel like everyone needs, because I feel like we're healing that mother wound that is it's universal. Like we have this wound with the earth that is our mother, and we have our own personal wounds with our mothers. And anyways, I'm just giving one example, but after being shown these remedies and then exploring them, taking them, yeah, I received this whole vision of like dolphins all over a beach, and they were like they had left the sea to come to land, but they were all dying, and there was all this like grief that just moved through me. Like I couldn't stop myself from crying, like, but it wasn't my own grief. It felt like it was from the collective, and that was a very powerful vision as well as like the emotions coming up. So that's just one example of yeah, how they communicate or how I receive these messages. It's a full sensation, visual, and then dreams and so yeah,
It's a lot of energy. It
a
is
lot.
what I'm hearing. And so that makes a lot of sense that you take respite after all this channeling.
Yeah.
You mentioned just from uh, reading the synopsis, which I'm excited to get into in detail, and I know that reading the book, it will get into it a little bit deeper. But you mentioned your higher self reflected through the eyes of the dolphin. Um,
Mhm.
can you take us a little bit into that moment without giving too much of the book away? Because yeah.
So it was mostly a feeling. Like these beings that I mean they're bigger than me, and for them to swim right directly to you and come within inches of your body
Wow.
and look like with this look
Aw.
your eye like right into your whole heart center just like explodes open, and this just emotional like it washes over your entire being. And then
That sounds amazing.
it's it's such a blessing. And they like they have their dolphin stuff that they do, but I've seen where they seek out people to have these connections, and it is like it's a familiar relationship. It's like they do love people and they want us to remember. And I felt that, yeah. And it, like I said about time, it was like, haven't I been with you this entire time? Like this is not just an initial meeting. It's like, oh, hello again. I don't know. It's just, yeah, familiar. It felt like family, and then after that, the going to sleep and then having these visions of myself with these dolphins with like the sacred geometry and the communication. Like I think one of the first dreams I had after, and I don't actually know if I think I'm writing about it for my second book, which is already in the process.
Okay. So we have word there's going to be a second already.
Yes, it's
That's
a
exciting.
quarter of the way written, but yeah. But the dream that I had, I think it was the first night after being with them. I was swimming in like beautiful crystal clear water, and the ocean, like the wavy white sand and the sparkly water, like crystalline beautiful reflections. And then these three dolphins swim up underneath me, like right underneath my body, and I'm crying. Like there's just like this I don't know, grieving, sadness, like, and I'm apologizing to these dolphins. Like I reach down and I stroke their bellies as they turn to their side, and I'm saying I'm sorry. I'm like, and when I woke, I'm like, what? Why am I saying sorry? Like what? And I realized after I wasn't living my life to my highest potential. I wasn't activating and using my healing gifts that I know I have. So in a sense, those dolphins were a reflection of myself and I think my children, because there was three of them. And I'm apologizing to myself and to my girls for not living in that higher state of consciousness and utilizing the gifts that I was here to share. So that was kind of how the book, I guess, I felt like, okay, well, this has to happen now.
That was
So,
the moment. Oh,
mhm, mhm,
thank you for sharing that. That's such a profound story, and it's exciting to have those moments. And I really appreciate you sharing what it was that sparked the book. That's epic. Like
yeah.
you can't even make a movie. Like it's like sometimes life is more exciting than the movies, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's what that reminds me of. I mean, I can't even think about a movie more exciting than what you're talking about right now. Like it's just
Yeah.
like that sparks like another question for anyone who's trying to really connect and remember who they are on a soul level. What
Mm,
advice do you have for them to start making that journey, just because you've gone through that process and that remembering, and it's
mhm.
such a question that I think a lot of people are longing for, but they just don't know where to start. And
Yeah.
I'd love to hear your wisdom on the subject.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm still an infant in the process of like remembering all that we are capable of because we are capable of a lot. And I feel like those gifts are just being activated or remembered now. And I mean, the water coming home to like where the womb of the earth is, where creation began, in my opinion, and what I've been shown, that I think it's important to get back to the water. And water is also symbolic of our intuition, so it amplifies those gifts. And yeah, just really tuning into your higher self, like your that voice inside of you that is not your head and your thoughts. And yeah, if there's something that you feel connected to, a tree, a rock, a crystal, a flower, like an animal, and listen, like ask for the guidance because each of those things are a reflection of our higher self. And if you're open with the heart, if you're open to receiving those messages, they do come. And the more you practice that, the clearer it gets. But I
Mm.
guess my get in the ocean.
I
Get
hear
in the
what
ocean.
you're saying about, yeah, it makes sense. Like you're swimming with dolphins. It's like, well, get in the water like that. There's sometimes the most profound, like wisdom is so simple. Like it's
You
like
got
sometimes like, and when you were talking about water being connected with intuition, I hear that in front of me. I have like runes that I carve, and the water rune, um,
hmm
I'll just pull it up because it actually it symbolizes, I feel like holding it up for some what I needed a copy of your book to hold up. But I'll put
It's
pictures.
coming.
Yeah, but for the fun of it, I thought I'd show the water rune here because you're talking about, I don't know if it's gonna show the right way. It's supposed to so this little hook is supposed to go probably facing the wrong way, which has its own meaning, but that it's all about intuition
Oh.
and going with the flow, and just like what you're saying.
hmm
So You swim with your daughters. I don't
Uh-huh.
know if they want to jump in if they're around, but what does that mean to share this connection with them? And
Oh, I mean, they were always super. I mean, all children, I think, come into this world with their gifts, more like they don't have the noise of the world of like we got to do this and get this done and get this done. It's like they're just living in the moment. So, as far back as I can remember, when the girls could speak, is like they were communicating my thoughts and things that would happen that how do you possibly know that? So I always knew that they already were gifted, as all children are. Um, yeah, and so after they met with the dolphins, which the first time I was with Hazel, we were holding hands, and a mama and baby came straight towards us in the middle of this bay. And yeah, after that, the artwork that started coming out of them, like that was I would always like encourage them, like, let's have a paint day. They'd be having dreams and seeing different symbols. I'm like, well, let's paint it. Like, let's paint and let's just see what comes through. And the sacred geometry and yeah, the like portals and yeah, it's
when you
I feel like
I adore swimming, like love, love, love swimming. Like any chance I get, I'm in the water. Where we live, we don't have dolphins, but when you talk about the sacred geometry, are you one of the things I love most? Even when I worked on tugboats, I loved the reflection of like I take those moments as zen either when I'm swimming or when I worked out on the water out at sea. I
uh-huh.
love even how the water, if I catch, the rays of how the light is shining through the water. Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about when that's so I'm hitting the nail on the head.
Yes.
It's the
Yes. Well,
water and the light together. Is that what you mean when you talk about the sacred geometry?
no, so it like it would come in dreams mostly. Like
Oh,
sometimes you see the dolphins swimming in figure eights or like in the
oh.
toroidal shape, like they do make the different symbols and sacred geometry, which like I would love to deepen my knowledge of that, but I just kind of trust whatever comes to me at the time. It's like this is being shown for a reason, so this I will explore, and I kind of
That's
follow that.
fascinating. So they swim
Mm,
in certain patterns.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
amazing.
And you
I've
do
never
have
heard of anyone.
dolphins there. You need to get in the water. Get a thick wetsuit and get in there because there are dolphins there.
Oh, out where I live,
Yeah.
really?
Uh-huh. I don't know if they're as social as the dolphins here, but if you're in the water.
Do you think that there is a collective remembering like happening on the earth at the moment that's growing?
Yeah, I do.
Do you
Hmm.
feel that growing at the moment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely being amplified right now. I think because the more people that do remember it, I don't know, how do I explain this? Like the toroidal field from our heart, right? Like it expands outward, and we are all vibrational, energetic beings. So everyone around you is affected by that energy frequency, the vibration, right? So then it encourages them to also wake up. So I feel like it's just getting bigger. The more people that remember who we are and what we're capable of, and like what life can be like when it's heart centered and created. Like, what was I listening to? So the spiral in sacred geometry, like everything is created with those mathematical numbers of like the spiral, everything in nature, right? And I believe it's the frequency of love. So love is what creates everything. And I feel like if we are creating from that place of love, like it's just so much more powerful. And yeah, and more people are waking up to the potential, our potential. And I do think I've even had dreams actually recently, like Atlantis dreams where there's these crystals and they're being battled over. It's like the patriarchy, and there's like all these mermaids and dolphins and whales coming together to try and save this crystal. And in the end of the dream, the crystal blows up, and which is sad. Sad. However, what I took from it was that what was stored in that crystal, the energy, the healing, the power, the Akashic records that were stored in this crystal, yes, it exploded, but energy cannot be destroyed. It went into all those beings in the sea, and they are the ones that hold those records. So
Mm.
when we connect with the ocean in general, but with dolphins, with whales, with our inner mermaid, it's like you remember because of that like crystalline energy makeup, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, it makes sense to me. Yeah, I hear you. And as you're talking about it, you're totally glowing. I'm just like I'm listening to your words, but I'm also just soaking up your energy. And it's fascinating having this interview with you because you are just exactly what you say you're doing. You are like, you are radiating that energy out into the earth. It's already happening. um just just your presence. So really excited now to read a little bit more, and when I get the book in the mail. And it leads me to my final question, which I know we've touched on this whole interview or
Mhm.
chat. I feel like I'm just catching up with an old
I
friend.
know,
I don't
right?
really do interviews. I'm like, feel like it's like so professional to be like doing
Yeah.
doing this interview. Well, just catching up with an old friend and excited that she wrote this book and is putting it out into the world. And I'm honored and I'm lucky to have a friend like you. I would What do you want people to feel and take away as they read this book? I know that the book is written with love, and I know that that's part. I've heard you when you say that that's the energy that you want people to feel, but anything
Yeah.
else you want to speak to, or if there's I don't want you to give away too much of the book because I want to read it and I don't want you
Yeah.
to give away. I'm like that with movies too. I don't like people giving away too much, but if there's like um really something, if there's one message above all other messages without giving away, the punchline of the book, but just what you want people to feel and
Mhm.
um take away in a nutshell, so to speak,
Yeah.
when they read this book, or if they put it under their pillow at night.
Yeah. Don't even have to read it. You just like
Yeah.
soak up the energy. Um, I don't know, maybe it could be almost like a portal into yourself, and into your
Mm.
own healing journey because I feel like we're just exposed to so many traumas, and it's not even just from this lifetime. We're bringing them forward energetically from past lifetimes, and then also from our parents and their parents, and so on and so forth. And it's like, it's this generation now. I feel like we need to clear that so that we are vibrating in a higher frequency and we're not perpetuating and continuing passing on these traumas by sharing mine and what has come, the messages that have come forth through walking through those traumas and revisiting them while writing the book. I I guess, yeah, I'm hoping that it'll reflect back onto other people that, by facing your traumas and healing from a heart space, that it's going to raise the vibration of the collective, of everyone. um so yeah, like I guess view my book as like a portal into your own healing journey and use it as a tool, maybe. I don't know if it holds that frequency of love, to come back to it, or just hug it. Just hug my book when you need a good hug. When those traumas feel like too much, just that I'm giving you an energetic hug from my heart. And that some really horrible things, and so have our ancestors. And yeah, we just need to come back to a place of love and a place of remembrance, and to be more in tune with nature and listen to her, because Source has so much wisdom for us. We are Source. And yeah, to filter through all the noise, I guess, in life and listen to your heart and
Mm.
your higher self.
Sometimes
And
the light is not outside of us, it's just brushing off a little bit of dirt and remembering just a little bit
mhm.
of dust, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It shines light on our shadows, on the things that we've like tucked away that are still hurting us because they're energetically part of us. So by shining light on those places, on those shadows that we're carrying, like we are setting it free. We're freeing ourselves. And I don't know. I just feel like there's just so much healing and love in the world that needs to happen and shift and transmute, I guess. Like, and for each of us, as we, like I talked about the lack remedies, and I mean, they might not be for everyone, but the grief that I felt, like I was almost like, those rods, the copper rods you put into the ground, and they like, the energy comes from the sky and from the ground. It's like it's circulating like a toroidal field
Well,
again.
I did get
um
grounding sheets and I am sleeping a lot better. So it's the same,
well,
a
I
little bit to do with that, but
you
I
are.
don't quite know what you're talking about with the metal rods, but it sounds like a little bit the same.
Yeah, so the copper, like I don't know, it's what I saw when I took those remedies, was like we are almost like a rod in the earth, and we are clearing through us. We're clearing the grief, that heaviness, that pain, and to be able to decipher whether it's your stuff that needs reflecting on,
Mhm.
or if you're just acting as like the rod to clear the energy for Mother Earth, right? For our birthplace, our our source, our yeah. I just feel like there's so much that we can do, and that we are capable of doing. And if you can't get out there and like clean up the beach, or, whatever else needs to be done in the environment to change things, it's like, know that by healing yourself, you are doing the work to heal the planet. And I think that's just like, it's giving back.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like being what you want the world to feel more of. You start
Mhm.
already
In
giving,
here.
yeah, it starts from within, which has
Yeah.
been a real theme since I started talking to you. And that's such a beautiful message.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an honor talking to you. Thank you for meeting with me. And I'm
You.
very excited to get my book in the mail. And I want to thank you for the work you're doing. The world is there's a lot of hurts everywhere, and it's so important having people who are stepping up with their hearts and reconnecting those healing energies. And the work of remembering who you are is such a gift to the earth right now. And I'm just so happy to know you and get to talk to you about this and seeing you shine. And I'm I don't know. I'm gonna walk away and I'm gonna have a smile on my face the rest of the day because your energy is just so bright and inspiring. So
I hope
thank you
so.
for meeting with me today.
Thank you for reaching
And
out and connecting us. And yeah.
I'll share links to when I post this video, I'll share links. And sorry if it doesn't make sense when it started. I don't know how much recorded, so I don't know if I'll be able to. It might have started a bit abruptly, but I noticed that it wasn't recording. So however it showed up, I'm excited to get this out to the world and share your links so we can get spread the word of your book.
Yay! Spread the healing.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you. Aloha.